All right. Well, it looks like we are live here tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I'll give a little bit of time for people to jump in here. This is going to be so much fun for the next, 20, 30 minutes, something like that. Because this is my first behind the smoke screen of the legislative session that started just 4 days ago. So welcome to this behind the smoke screen. Okay, now that just feels better. Now that's been played. So, oh man, so much this week. I really thought it'd be a boring week at the Capitol, just because it's the first week and there's not a lot of momentum behind anything. And but I was so wrong, and I thought I've got to do. Maybe I'll do these every week. As you can probably tell, I'm teasing that up a little bit, and hopefully I'll have the time to do that because I promised to pull back the curtain at the Capitol, and I've certainly been doing that. But I'm going to try to challenge myself and do more of it because the shenanigans that I see at the Capitol are getting really, really disgusting, especially what I saw yesterday. And I'm gonna give you a full glimpse, a full breakdown of what happened yesterday. And if you guys are hopping in, feel free to throw some comments in here. I'll get the comments open. There we go. Okay. Feel free to chime in as you'd like. But I'm going to dive into this because first week, right? It's week one. And I have to start with Monday because that was the first floor session. And I really did think it was going to be kind of a dull day. I planned on going to the mask or the floor without a mask just to see what would the speaker do. Because we've had a rule now that a mask requirement or mask mandate in place of the Capitol since, I want to say October is when the speaker sent it out. And I thought it was ridiculous at the time because when she sent it out, she said, there'll be a mask mandate through May. She said this in October. And I remember the Democrats, every time we voted to end the emergency all of last year, they said, we can't end the emergency because we have to be nimble. We have to be able to make quick decisions here. So it just seemed really strange to me that she said, for the next 7 months, there's going to be a mask mandate. That didn't really strike me as being nimble or appreciating the fact that things are evolving. But whatever. So the first day, Monday, I go to the Capitol floor. And actually, before I even get there, I'm trying to get in. But there are news cameras and people taking pictures all over the place. And I had not seen that in the last 13 months I've been at the Capitol. And I really just chalked it up to, it's the building's actually open finally, at least the Capitol building, where last year it was never open to the public. But I couldn't even get through the doors, the main doors to the House floor, because there was just so many people. And I said, I'm just going to go into the back. So I go around the back, come in the side, and I sit down at my desk. I'm getting my stuff ready. And I look behind me and I see there's Governor Walz. And I've told this story a handful of times. If you've heard it, sorry, but I'm telling it again because I'm recapping the week. So I sit down, I see Governor Walz, and I had not even seen the man in the 13 months I've been at the legislature. And I have gone to his office. I've knocked on his door. There's a number on his door. You call that, nobody answers, goes to a voicemail. I've actually tried to scan my badge that you use to get in the doors. Tried to scan it to see if I could maybe get inside his office. Of course, that didn't work. So I've made an effort to try to go meet this guy. He's never been there. The guy's a ghost, never even seen him. So to see him on the House floor, I was shocked. So I thought, well, I'm on the floor. I have no mask. I'm interested to see if the other Republicans decided to unite around this mask mandate baloney and actually stand up to the speaker. But I think I'll take a selfie. So I take a selfie with no mask on. I made sure to get the governor in the background. And it looks like he saw me do that. And I'm assuming he saw that and thought, well, we'll go over there and make that guy's day by getting him. He can meet the governor, which, of course, I have really no interest in that because how he's decimated our state. Lisa Hansen, I think, is getting out of jail finally tonight. He threatened to fine people $1,000. He threatened to throw you in jail for 90 days if you had anybody over to your house over Thanksgiving in 2020. Like, this man doesn't deserve the respect. So he comes up to me in the video. I'll play the video in a bit here, but half the interaction isn't even captured by the video. In fact, the video makes it look like I approached him, but it was actually he came up to me, and he comes up and says, "Would you like a lemon bar?" And I looked back and said, "I wouldn't trust anything coming from you." And I do think it was interesting he's offering lemon bars, because we do have a lemon law here in Minnesota. And I think Walls is sort of a lemon. He's kind of shaped like a lemon. Well, that was rude. That was rude. I shouldn't have said that. But the guy, he is a lemon. Like, the guy has just been a bust since he got elected. So he offered me the lemon bar. I said, "I wouldn't trust anything coming from you." And he says, "Why would you say that? Why would you say that?" He says, "I'm pretty good at this." He said, "I came here out of state and I didn't know anybody." And he says, "I got elected governor." And I said, "You're really bragging to me about how good of a politician you are. That's disgusting." And then, of course, I realized I should pick up my phone and actually videotape this guy, because this is just precious. This is way too precious. So this is where this picks up. I'll go ahead and play this so you can see what happened. Here on the House floor, Governor Walz offering his pan of lemon bars, which who knows how many hands have touched this thing. And he had one spoon in there and one fork. How many hands have touched the fork? Who knows? So I kind of called it his COVID cake. But here's what happened.
So here, he exists in the flesh. He says he's good at this. He was just breaking. Then he got elected governor without knowing anybody.
I said I got elected when I came here to work with people in Minnesota. Why would you do this? I don't understand it.
People don't believe you exist.
Well,
I've come by your office a dozen times and no one's ever there.
Well, I'm here and I do the work, and I'd love to work together to find things that work for Minnesota.
Yeah, why don't you take Lisa Hanson out of jail? Why don't you do that? How do you feel about that, throwing Lisa Hanson in jail? You're a crook.
Yeah, so there you go. That was my interaction with the governor, my very first meeting with him. And you notice how he starts off by saying, "I said I came here and fight for Minnesotans." That is not what he told me before I started recording. He literally said he's pretty good at this. He was bragging about how good of a politician he was on the House floor, which is disgusting to me. And to me, the definition of a politician is somebody who will do or say whatever they have to do in order to secure their next election. And that is certainly not how I behave myself. I'm not scared of losing elections. I'm scared of losing our country and losing our state. So that guy just showed he's a true politician, and he bragged about it on the House floor. Disgusting stuff. Let's see here. Oh, and it was totally a media stunt. Like, this was a publicity stunt, and I found some pictures on the internet that really just prove it. So here you go. Here's Walz. I think he's standing outside maybe the Senate chambers, maybe the House chambers. That looks like the Senate. Here he is, posing with his pan, giving people a chance to take his picture of him serving people lemon bars. I mean, talk about a stunt. I like to call him Governor Photo Op, because that's all he's doing running around the state is getting his photo ops. And then I thought this was super interesting. He gets into the House floor and he serves, this is the majority leader, Ryan Winkler here, who is the mask Nazi in the House. And here he is on the floor with no mask on his face. I mean, my goodness, maybe he's pulling what the mayor of LA did, and maybe he's holding his breath. That could be because that's a thing, and or maybe I guess COVID doesn't spread when you're eating, right? That's how he was able to pull that off. But a total media stunt. I wasn't falling for it. I was not going to participate in it. That's a fact. So let's see here. Oh, yeah. So later in the week, this is yesterday. Okay, so that was Monday. Tuesday, we had another floor session, pretty uneventful. But I will say, on the House floor, no mask. I was still the only Republican not wearing a mask. I'm going to keep showing up, and hopefully we can unite around this issue, because this speaker's mask mandate would come to a crashing end if every single Republican joined me and showed up with no mask. There is no way she would prevent us from speaking on the floor. And if she did, it would just be foolish of her. So I feel like a hypocrite if I showed up with a mask, because so many people, and there's probably some people watching this, that have reached out to me in the last year and have said, how do we stop these mask mandates? And my response has always been, stop wearing the mask. If you want the mask mandate to end, stop wearing it. Refuse to acknowledge the power that these tyrants are trying to put over the top of you. You can literally take away their power by just ignoring them. So that's what I'm doing on the House floor. And then hopefully soon the Republicans, the rest of the Republicans will join me in doing so. So yesterday, I got to the Capitol and I started surfing through some bills. I wanted to see what's getting introduced. Does anybody have some good legislation that I could get behind? Because as much as people run around the Capitol and say that Mortensen doesn't work with anybody, I work with anybody who shares the mission of getting the government off the backs of the people. So I'm looking through the bills, and I see that Mary Franson, Representative Franson, finally introduced an awesome bill. It's a bill that would empower employees who have been the victim of a vaccine mandate and injured by a vaccine required by their employer to take action against their employer. So great idea, great bill, and I love it. So I commend her for this bill. So I send an email to authors. So I'm going to break this down for you. I'll show you my email. I send this email. You can see I sent it at 11:30 a.m. And you send these emails to authors@house.mn. You can see I carbon copied Mary Franson, the chief author of House File 2901. And you can read the body of my email saying, hey, add me as a co-sponsor to this bill, which allows employees with the ability to take action against employers that mandate vaccinations, resulting in injury to the employee. Great bill. Love the bill. I sent that email at 11:30 yesterday morning. And a little later that afternoon, this happened during a healthcare freedom rally. Okay, so Representative Franson had a chance to speak. And she actually spoke about that bill, which, why wouldn't you? It's a good bill. So here's what she had to say yesterday at this healthcare freedom rally.
No one should have to assume all of the risk while pharma assumes all of the profits in order for you to have us to participate in society and be able to put food on your table. So that's House File 2901. Ask your legislators to sign on to it and let's get a hearing.
There you go, right? 2901, House File 2901. Ask your legislators to co-sign it. Let's get some momentum. Let's get a hearing, right? That's what she's saying. Love it. I totally agree. At the time this all went down, there were no co-sponsors to her bill. It was her and only her on the bill. So again, I sent her this email, and this is how you co-author a bill. You send the email to authors@house.mn, you copy the chief author, and you put in the subject line the bill you want to be, you're willing to co-sponsor. So I send that email. You know, she's on there saying, my goodness, get your legislators to co-sign House File 2901. Well, I get this email later that afternoon. Stephanie, who obviously works in the House here, sends me an email and says, Representative Mortensen, we've received your email about House File 2901. The chief author has instructed us not to add your name to her bill, so we cannot process your request. And at the same time, so here she's shooting me down. She doesn't want me on her bill. Nope. Doesn't want me on the bill. And she's one of these people that runs around the state and says, Mortensen's a bad guy. He's he won't work with anybody, is what they say. Well, this is the proof that what they're accusing me of is actually what they're doing themselves. They're projecting. They don't want to work with me because I'm doing this. This is why they won't, because I'm doing these things. I'm pulling back the curtain and I'm providing a level of transparency as to what happens in that building, the likes of which I don't think anybody's ever seen, especially from a legislator. I know that for a fact. I can say that very confidently that sitting legislators aren't doing stuff like this and exposing where Republicans, or just say legislators in general, say one thing and then turn around and to a different audience, say something completely opposite. And that is, of course, the theme behind these smokescreen videos is these politicians throw up these smoke screens and make it sound like they're out there fighting for you and they're doing something, but they're really not. So that's Representative Mary Franson refusing to allow me to co-sponsor her great bill for who knows what reasons. But she will run around and accuse me of not being willing to work with people. But I think that's not the case. So, and that video proves it, or those emails. So that's another thing I thought was super interesting. And I've got a number of other things here to show you tonight. So let's see. Aha. Yes. So, okay. So this healthcare freedom rally, it was a good event. There probably was several hundred people there. I saw a bunch of governor candidates were there, and of course, all of the politicians were up by the stage like they always are at these rallies. You know, because that's where the important people hang out. I spent my time walking around the crowd talking to the people because I recognize it's the people who are the actual holders of that political power and the people that we serve. But the politicians always, and if you've been to these things, you know it's true. They always sit up front, right? They want to be the center of attention. So I got to show you this. Representative Lucero gets up there, and he has this to say about the mask mandate from the speaker.
There are those that continue. Even today, the Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, forces a mask to speak on the House floor.
So, yeah, you know, he's complaining about this thing. She's doing this mask mandate. It's terrible. He's up there complaining. What are you doing about it, Lucero? What are you doing? He never comes to the House floor. He could come to the floor without a mask like I've been doing and actually stand on that principle instead of just standing on a stage in front of her crowd and whipping them up and making it sound like he was doing something. And I've been talking about this for quite a while, but I've had people say that they don't believe me, that the other Republicans are wearing masks. They think, well, you know, they sound tough. They sound tough when they're talking, so they must not be wearing a mask on the floor. Well, yesterday, no more than 90 minutes after Representative Lucero had that to say, this happened. And this is the Assistant Minority Leader, Representative Anu Brindley, on the House floor last night. She had this to say, which just completely proves my point here that nobody else is joining me in standing up to these mask mandates.
I want to be very clear that as it turns out, everyone in this chamber is wearing a mask. And, well, maybe not everyone.
You're damn right, not everybody. So she turns back. I said about 30 feet behind her, and she turns back and looks right at me and says, well, maybe not everyone. So that just goes to show what they're saying in front of one crowd and what they're actually doing on the House floor is entirely different. And I'm not done. I have more to show you because yesterday it was just, I couldn't believe the events that were unfolding. But again, you know, you've got a crowd. The whole rotunda is full of health, freedom, loving people that are just, you know, want the issues to be resolved. That's all they really care about. But they gave the politicians all these platforms to pat themselves in the back. Of course, they didn't ask me to speak. They did not want me to speak at that event. So let's see. Yes. So of course, I saved the best for last. What are we, 18 minutes in? Oh, man, I hope people are dialing in. If you know, share this video so other people can hear this part, because this is like the height of hypocrisy right here. So the supposed leader of the Republicans in the State House, you know, this is the guy that rules over your Republican legislators with an iron fist. And if they do not do his bidding, he punishes them. Okay, with all sorts of consequences. And of course, I'm talking about Representative Kurt Dowd, the minority leader. He likes to be called, I've come to learn, he tells everyone in his caucus that he better be called Leader Dowd. Leader Dowd. It sounds like a character in a Star Wars movie or something. Leader Dowd. So he goes on and he says this speech, and I think I clipped the whole speech. This is again yesterday at the Healthcare Freedom Rally. And I'll just let you listen to this. And here we go. It's about a minute, so bear with it. Here we go.
This is awesome. I'm State Representative Kurt Dowd. I'm the Minority Leader of the Minnesota House. I have dropped a bill that will be introduced today in the House that will ban vaccine mandates anywhere in the state of Minnesota. Body, you do not have freedom, period. must take. We cannot allow someone to say that as a condition of employment or to attend school or to participate in commerce in this state that you have to inject something into your body. That decision is yours and yours alone, period, without exception. So I want to thank you for being here today and for standing up for all these kids and for all Minnesotans so that they have the freedom of choice when it relates to their own body. So thank you for being here. Thanks for fighting this fight. I want you to know you've got a lot of legislators here that support you and are standing with you. So thank you for being here and keep up the fight.
Oh man, what a rousing speech from that minority leader, right? It's a room full of health freedom lovers, and he just is feeding them the red meat left and right. Oh boy, they just ate it up. It sounded wonderful. Who wouldn't love hearing that stuff? But what does that same person, the minority leader, Leader Dowd, what does he have to say when he's being paid to talk? Let's hear how his message maybe changes a little bit. Check this out.
Hello, I'm House Minority Leader Kurt Dowd. There have been a lot of challenges over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, but the vaccines give us hope. The available vaccines are safe and effective. They have been authorized by the FDA and were developed following all federal requirements. Across Minnesota, we are working hard to get as many folks vaccinated as quickly as possible. We are making great progress, and we need to keep that momentum going. I urge you to take your shot today. They are readily available. I took the vaccine, and I hope that you will too. Together, we can finally get back to all of the things that we love. Let's get our economy moving again and get back to life as we knew it. Thank you.
Now that's just a smidge different, wouldn't you say? Just a smidge different. Urging you to go get this vaccine. He got it. He hopes you go get it. Well, that is a very different message from what we just watched during the healthcare freedom rally yesterday, when he was saying nobody should tell you what to do. It's your body. It's your choice. Now suddenly when he's being paid and he's in a commercial, very, very different. In fact, you know what that reminds me of? His message there, that reminds me of a certain governor, Governor Photo Op, Governor Walz. That's Walz's message. Go get it. Go get it. I'm so tired of these politicians telling you to go get this thing. That's between you and your doctor. Don't listen to politicians as to what to do for healthcare guidance. So very, very different. And it sounds exactly like Tim Walz. But you know, maybe on the mask issue, maybe he's strong on that. Although he has been wearing a mask on the floor all week long. But maybe he's strong. Let's see what he has to say about masks. We'll see.
But just like I wear a mask because I don't want to hope that I don't get COVID, I wear this mask to protect me. And I wear this mask to protect you.
Wow. Well, maybe he's not good on the mask issue either. So he's pushing the mask, he's pushing the vaccines, but when he's in front of a crowd of health freedom lovers, boy, what a different message. Now, if that isn't the epitome of a politician, I don't know what is. In fact, when he's out there saying essentially it's mask or vax, that reminds me of someone else. It actually reminds me of this guy.
It's vaxxed or masked.
Right? That's what it reminds me of. I mean, how is his message any different from Joe Biden's message? Any different from Tim Walz's message? They're the exact same message on the floor when he's getting paid. But of course, when he's around people who are hoping that people fight for their healthcare freedom, he's throwing them the red meat. So I'm so tired of that hypocrisy. And I think a lot of other people are too, because that's what we've come to see for years and years. And so that's why I've kind of taken it as just sort of my role in the legislature when I see these shenanigans being played upon you, the people, to expose it. So you can hold these people accountable, which is what we desperately need, is for the people across the state to hold their elected officials accountable, hold them to what they promised they would do. So that's my message tonight. And this is the type of transparency that I promised you all throughout 2020. This is the type of transparency you can count on me to continue to provide you And this is actually the type of transparency that is the reason that they kicked me out of caucus, because I was being too transparent and I wasn't helping to hide their friends and how their friends have behaved in a traitorous fashion at the Capitol. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this proof, video, email, screenshots. I mean, I don't know what else I can serve you guys to help understand and paint the picture that so many of your elected officials at the Capitol are betraying you, even after they go to these big meetings and they tell you everything you want to hear on the House floor. They betray you every single day. So thanks for watching. Remember, if you want to be politically respected, you must be politically feared. Thanks, everybody.